So the director of Arc Raiders, Virgil, just released a new post explaining something really interesting called the Expedition Project, and it basically changes how wipes and resets are handled in the game. He starts by addressing one of the biggest questions players have had, which I have had: will Arc Raiders ever do progression wipes? His answer was no mandatory wipes, but there will be a voluntary reset system, and that's what the Expedition Project is all about. Usually, in games like Tarkov or other survival games, developers wipe progress every so often to reset the economy and let everyone start fresh. Virgil says he understands the benefits of that, but also points out that it doesn't really respect players who don't have a lot of time to play. For those players, losing everything can be very discouraging, so instead of forcing a reset on everyone, Arc Raiders lets players choose when they want to start over. Okay, so here's how it works. Once you've reached level 20, you unlock a new feature called projects. The first big one is the Expedition Project, and it's basically an 8-week cycle where you work towards completing stages of the project. When that 8th week hits and you've met all the requirements, you can choose to reset your character by finishing the expedition. If you're not ready, no worries, your progress carries over to the next cycle. When you complete an expedition, you start fresh. You lose your levels, items, skills, and crafting progress. But you don't lose everything, which makes sense. You'll keep your cosmetics, achievements, awards, anything that's tied to your account or real money purchases stay with you. Virgil explains it like this: players will keep cosmetics earned or purchased, awards, achievements, rankings, etc. Which that makes sense. Basically, all the stuff you've earned that's more permanent or cosmetic stays intact. They've also made it easier for players to go through a reset. You won't have to redo all of the onboarding or tutorials again, which makes sense. All that early game unlocking and setup is skipped the second time around. So the big question is, why reset at all? That's where we would need an incentive to reset. Each expedition completion gives you a permanent account unlocks, like a cosmetic reward or a temporary account buffs, that will last through the next expedition cycle. The more expeditions you complete, the better those buffs get, up to a certain limit. The important part of these buffs won't make you more powerful in combat. Virgil makes it clear that completing a reset should never give a player a power or combat advantage. Okay, so the overall idea here is pretty cool. Players who want that fresh start feeling can have it, and they are rewarded by doing so. But the players who prefer to keep grinding on their main account and to keep everything without being forced to reset, this is a middle ground that makes sense for both types of players. Now, this dude summed it up perfectly. Players who are highly engaged can experience the game fresh on a regular cadence, while players who have less time don't have their progress reset outside of their control. It's actually a really smart move, and it fits really well with Arc Raiders. This game is literally turning out to be extremely consumer friendly, and there's only good that's been coming out of this game so far. Overall, I think this is one of the most balanced approaches to resets I have ever seen in a live service game. It respects the player's time and adds replayability. I'm so excited for Arc Raiders and its actual launch. It's coming out really soon, and on the 17th, I'm pretty sure it's the 17th, we're gonna get the server slam, which means everyone can play it for free. This is my second video on this channel, and if you haven't seen my last one, it's about how Arc Raiders is a movie. Watching that video will make you have a different perspective on Arc Raiders. We're getting close to 100 subscribers, so be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you topside.